I was always like DMing women at like 3:00 in the morning and shit like that, kind of creepy stuff.
What kind of things? Like, do you want to play Uno? Some
Yeah,
Scrabble?
yeah. Just well, actually, you know what? Yeah, I normally was just looking for someone to like talk to. Obviously, like I was hoping to like flirt or whatever, but I wasn't like just like here's a photo of my dick or anything like that.
Thank God. Welcome to Gorilla Cheeks, where we hang with interesting, funny, sometimes unhinged friends because some conversations are just too much to text. I'm Genevieve Dubé, and today we have Andrew Barr.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh my God.
Good
Thank
to
you
be
for
here.
coming. So that's the clap.
Shake hands?
Yeah.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah. I don't know. Usually I'm more of a high five person, but
Yeah.
I'll let the...
We high-fived earlier off camera. There was a good connection. I felt like
It was really good connection.
I felt like you were well practiced.
Well, I can't help it.
Yeah.
Grew up with brothers. Also, we were high-fiving over a shared love of having good eyebrows.
Yeah, you do have good eyebrows.
Another one.
Ooh, pretty good.
Yeah.
They say look at the elbow is the trick.
I know, but you know what? That kind of messes me up sometimes. It's too much admin for me.
Fair enough. That's what I did on that one. It worked out okay for me.
Good.
But yeah.
Maybe that's the difference between men and women.
Could be.
They do say men are from Venus. Look at the weenus. Oh.
I hadn't heard that before.
I just made that up.
Wow.
Damn.
Write that down. Put that on a t-shirt.
Will do. It's so good. Okay, we were talking before we started filming, before we started rolling, about how do we know each other?
Yeah.
You are obviously in the comedy space.
I am.
Stand-up comedian. I would also argue content creator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sort of become a content creator just because we're like sort of forced to in today's industry.
Gorilla Cheeks. Why do you think it's here?
Yeah.
What? That's crazy. But okay, so stand-up comedy, we have some mutuals.
Yeah.
We started talking over Instagram, social media kind of a thing. And I was thrilled when you said, yes, you would come on my podcast.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, pumped to be here.
That's great. Should I do the awkward, always asked question of how did you get into stand-up comedy?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Sure.
So when I was a kid, I think it sounds like you have an athletic background yourself.
I do.
I was an athlete kind of when I was really young until like I would say the 8th grade.
Okay.
I was a sprinter. I was really fast and very like athletics focused. And then all the other kids kept growing and I stopped and I just got kind of phased out of athletics. I remember going to a track meet like I'm from a really small town of only white people.
Where?
It's called Corunna, Ontario.
Okay.
That's where I grew up until I was like
Corunna.
14. It's a little bit south of Sarnia, like 8,000 people.
Okay.
And growing up, I was like only white people, small community. And I remember just when I finally went to high school and went to like a regional track meet, meeting a black kid for the first time. And he was like 6'2".
Yeah.
And just so jacked for that age. And he absolutely destroyed me in the 100 meter dash. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm a theater kid.
Pivot.
Yeah, got to pivot.
Pivot.
I was like, I just don't, have the body to, be an athlete. It's not practical.
Look, we're both long torso kings. Queens.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Okay, also long torso.
You picked that up on me.
100%.
I do have long torso, little legs.
I'm very conscious of it. You would have been a great figure skater. You would have crushed.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
You see, that option was not presented to me. In such a small town, we only had like limited athletics kind of available.
Fair enough.
But anyway, once I realized sports was like a no-go, I was like, oh, I guess I'll have to have a personality and shit like that.
So hard.
Which is hard.
It's so hard. Have a personality.
Yeah, so I got into like theater and improv and stuff
Cool.
like that. And when I was graduated high school, I moved to Toronto and I took the Humber Comedy Writing and Performance program.
Yes, I know of it.
Legitimate college program that you can take. Mm-hmm. That actually for me was really helpful at that age. Being from a small town and stuff, like it was great to have like-minded peers and stuff to start off with. So I actually came from like an improv and sketch background. But then I tried stand-up comedy a couple times and I was like, oh, that's sort of like more what I'm geared towards. Yeah.
Well, That's incredible. I think I actually do know a few people that have done that program, and I've heard like
Yeah.
good things about it.
It's a cool program. Like I would really recommend it if you're like 18. I think it's great. You know,
Totally.
if
Coming
you've
from a
already,
small town.
if you're more of an adult and you've already done a few years of open mics or something, you probably don't need it or whatever. But
Sure.
for somebody young and new to the city, it's a great like jumping off point, and you know, you make a lot of good connections.
Probably, yeah. That's good. I feel like before we get into like too deep of shit, let's say. Before we get too into it, I just want to like, just because we don't know each other well, we're getting to know each other, kind of rifle off like a fast 5 questions, and you just answer short, quickly, if you can.
Okay, I'll do my best.
You're comfortable with that.
I tend to be a bit verbose, but I'll try.
Also, see, I'm like about to pivot into something else. I'm so all over the place all the time. You were talking like kind of strange that both of us athletic backgrounds pivoted into this.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. But okay, so here's a couple of random questions. 5 questions.
Okay.
Call or text?
Text.
Okay. Okay, interesting. Something you irrationally hate?
Oh wow, I'm such a positive person. Slow walkers.
In the same way.
Slow walkers drive me crazy, especially in the winter.
Okay.
When like there's a lot of snow and the sidewalk gets narrow.
Wait. Yes.
They really like amalgamate into pods of slow walking people, and it becomes like impossible to get around them. And I'm a very fast walker, and I really like to get where I'm going,
shit,
and they
same.
fucking drive me crazy.
You know what's funny? Okay, so same as me, you're a positive person. I don't even like to use the word hate. I like to use the word dislike.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad. I genuinely I would say there are 2 places where I get like irrationally like angry with slow walkers, and it's like the grocery store.
Yeah.
Why always in your way?
It's always, especially I live like near the Dufferin Mall, so it's like there's a Walmart and a No Frills right there, and you know, cheap prices, but like the most spatially unaware people in the world.
Spatially unaware people, yeah.
People will be like turning their cart left and looking right, and their cart is like going right into your hips, and they have no idea. It's crazy.
There and like obviously airports.
Yeah.
And actually, I would also argue an amusement park.
You know what? I don't go very often, but I believe it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you go often?
I'm not a big roller coaster guy. I get nauseous.
Okay.
Yeah, which is vulnerable to admit. It makes me feel emasculated, but
okay.
I struggle on the roller coaster. I like a water park. I'll do water slides all day long.
He likes you like the burn. You like the going over the my back.
I do. I like that.
You do?
Yeah, I love all that.
He likes
I really
things
like
wet.
sledding too.
Okay. You like
to go down a hill fast.
Which is also wet, just cold wet.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever considered bobsledding as an ex-athlete or luge?
I don't think I have big enough legs. You know what I actually learned about bobsledding recently?
You got strong legs. Strong legs.
Well, you do have to have strong legs, but I always wondered, like luge and stuff like that, how do people get into it? Because it's like, where the hell do you go practice luge?
Calgary Ex-Olympics, hill, that's it.
Yeah, but I was just, it's not something you can just like try out on the weekend or something, you know? So apparently a lot of the luge people are actually scouted by like luge people, and they're frequently people that like almost made the CFL or sprinters, stuff like that. People who like sort of failed in another athletic pursuit but are like extremely athletic. They'll like find them and bring them into the world of luge. Okay,
this is a fun fact. This is interesting.
Yeah.
You bring a lot to the conversation. Thank you.
Absolutely. I came ready.
I really appreciate that. Okay, good eyebrows, good hairline.
Thank you. Back at you.
Thank you so much. I work on it. In one sentence, no further explanation, in a few words, your worst date.
Blind date, pickle barrel.
Okay. Wait, are there pickle barrels in Canada?
There is.
There is?
Yeah.
Is it one?
There's a few, at least. Yeah.
Wait, okay.
I went on like a group blind date. It was so weird. A woman who I barely knew set me up with her friend, and she also came to the date with a 4th person.
Oh.
And they all knew each other.
And you were just the...
Yeah, I was there meant to only be kind of on a date with one of them, but we're all in a booth together.
Okay.
And they all knew each other from high school. I didn't know anybody. They just kept talking about like stuff from high school.
Ew, no.
My
How
date,
old were you?
like 19.
Okay.
My date was an open mouth chewer.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I could hear her eating salad, which is not meant to be allowed food. And then when we all like just pitched in cash for the bill.
Okay.
I think I got the most expensive thing, and I tipped like around 20% because I've worked in the service industry, so I usually go a little high. And then the server came back with the bill after he left and was like, "You guys didn't even tip 10%. This is unacceptable."
Oh, no.
Which I thought was kind of crazy.
Oh, no.
It was a ballsy move on his part, but I was also like, how little did you guys tip? If I had the most expensive thing and I tipped 20% and it still ended up less than 10%.
What did they eat?
I don't know. I got a steak. I got a
water?
steak, I think, or something. So mine was like, then they got more like wrap or something like that. But yeah, I was like, oh wow, you guys like almost totally stiffed him then. And then afterwards, they asked me if I wanted to go to Tim Hortons with them for dessert, and I said no, and I got on the subway.
Okay.
I think that was the worst date.
You're a man that yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Hortons for dessert. Come on now. That's just silly.
Insane. But they had money to burn, but because they didn't tip that guy.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
I don't know. 19 years old. Would I stiff somebody on tip? I don't think so. That's crazy. Pickle Barrel reminds me of, I think, the Cracker Barrel. Is that the American one?
Maybe. I don't know if they're affiliated at all, but they're...
Oh my God. I was on this insane road trip when I was young to Florida with my dad, my stepmom, Janice, and my stepbrother. I was like 14. And we kind of got like the crazies in the car. You know, you start to get the crazy.
Sure.
And all she was talking about on the way down was the Cracker Barrel because one of her friends had been to the Cracker Barrel. And on the way back, losing our minds as like barely teenagers, we went to the Cracker Barrel and we ruined the experience. They had to like get up. We had to get up and leave because him and I couldn't stop making bad jokes.
Oh shit.
It was bad.
Damn.
Anyway,
you got kicked out of the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, they still talk about it.
That's too bad.
And I am a cracker, so
yeah,
that's crazy.
I feel like the Cracker Barrel is not a fancy joint either. So if they won't
it was bad.
If they won't take you at the Cracker Barrel, there's not a lot of places you can go. I don't think
there's some lore behind it and why we said what we said from a movie, and it just did not go over well. We had the crazies, I call them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kicked out.
Anyway, we were talking about cornbread. So you like horror movies?
I do.
So explain why is that, or like what part of horror like makes it niche, or your opinion niche about them?
Oh, I think it's like a lesser known genre. Like there's fewer, certainly every once in a while a horror movie does really well, but it's not like, Marvel movies or anything more accessible.
Of course not.
Oftentimes when I don't know. I find it hard to find other horror fans that could nerd out in the same way that I can about it.
Okay, fair. So this is a two-part question, just before I forget, because again, ADHD. What draws you to horror movies? And do you like the commercially popular horror movies, or is it like actually niche? Like you have like pluck them out of obscurity. They've maybe won like a film festival or something. Like,
yeah, I like horror in all forms. I like the good. I like the bad. I'm a completionist with the genre.
Okay.
I'll watch everything. I think one of the beautiful things about the genre of horror is that when it's good, that's great and it's scary and it gets your adrenaline up and that's fun. And then when it's bad, it's kind of hilarious. So you still have a good time watching it. Whereas that doesn't work the same way with other genres. Like when a comedy isn't funny, it's not like, oh, I'm scared now. But horror is a genre. When it fails to be what it was trying to be, just sort of becomes a different genre that is also enjoyable.
I would also argue that sometimes being drama can be very funny too if it's not hitting right.
Totally agree with that. And then as far as what draws me to it, I started watching horror like a really young age, so I have like a super sort of nostalgic tie to it.
Do you remember the first time you saw a horror movie?
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, how old were you? Do you know?
I think 8.
8?
It messed me up. Pretty bad.
I feel like everybody has an experience with a horror movie like this. One of the first ones you saw that like kind of shook you up.
Yeah.
And was it by your own design that you watched it, or was there like a cousin or sibling or parent involved, like making you watch it?
I just watched it. It was on like 4 p.m. or something. And yeah,
Insane.
I just watched it and was like enthralled, but also like it messed me up really bad. But also I like just craved more of it at the same time.
Interesting.
I think I really liked the like adrenaline kick, which makes sense. I'm an addict.
Okay.
But yeah, and I've always really appreciated horror, I think because it's essentially the same thing as comedy, but the opposite.
Okay.
Because like, you know, in comedy, you're trying to make people go, ah. And in horror, you're trying to make people go, ah. It's
Fair.
basically just like an A and an H flipped around, you know, but it's all about like desired reactions at specific moments.
Absolutely. And enough Botox, you could barely differentiate if it wasn't for the sound.
Exactly.
You did the same facial expression.
Yeah.
There you
But
go.
right, like a jump in a horror movie is basically a punchline. It's the same kind of thing. You're trying to make the audience do something. So I think it's kind of the same as comedy, which is what I do. But I like horror more, I think, because I don't do it. I can just watch it and I can appreciate it. Whereas when I'm watching comedy, because it's what I do, I'm really analytical about it.
Yeah.
And as much as I still love comedy, once you do it for work, you know, watching someone special becomes kind of, I don't laugh out loud as much anymore.
Yeah.
I just kind of sit there and I'm like, oh, that's a really good
I was
punchline.
just going to say, like, as a stand-up comic, as comedians, the mark of like a good joke, or, you know, when another comedian is watching you, is them going, that's funny.
Yeah, totally.
That's
right.
good. That's funny.
Because once you start doing it, the magic is
it's
sort of
just-
gone.
Yeah.
A little bit. You know, you understand how the soup is made.
It's a different kind of magic.
Yeah. But with horror, for me, the magic is still there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because you're removed. Okay, good. So you don't you don't bring any horror into your actual real life. That's good.
I try not to. Yeah. If I can avoid it.
Totally. Do you believe in, so like, do you prefer horror movies that are like the supernatural, or do you like what is your ideal? I guess you're saying you don't really pick and choose, like you like all of it.
Yeah, I do love everything. I think that as far as being genuinely scary, that the supernatural stuff, especially from the last, let's say, 15 to 20 years, is probably the most successful in being genuinely
CGI is
scary
better,
stuff.
how they're
Like,
doing it.
well, just the style. Like, in fact, maybe not even CGI. Like a lot of the low budget, like hand cam stuff.
Okay.
The sort of the birth of hand cam horror through like Blair
Blair
Witch, and then more popularly even after that, Paranormal Activity.
Right. Aren't they making another Paranormal Activity or something?
They'd
They
be
do that?
silly not to. They print money on those. They cost nothing to make.
Yeah.
Which is the beauty of a lot of horror, is that even though it can be kind of a niche genre, oftentimes it doesn't cost a ton of money to produce it.
Got it.
So, you know, you don't have to worry about it making $1 billion, like with some of the superhero movies where their budget was like $400 million.
Totally.
You know, you can
And
make
the
something for a
actors,
few
too,
million dollars, and then it makes $30 million, and you go, hey, whatever, we made $27 million. That's not so bad.
Have you ever, would a goal of yours, do you do any acting?
A very little bit. I'm not good at it. But if you need me to play essentially me, then I can do that. But I don't have range. I can't do voices.
I mean, yeah, it works for Vince Vaughn, so.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
good.
But he's incredibly charming. I don't think I'm quite at that level.
Like, you could, I don't know, silent film?
Yeah, I could be good.
You look like
Silent
James Dean.
film.
You got like a James Dean thing
Bit of
going
mime,
on.
perhaps.
Handsome, it could work. I could see it.
Yeah.
Do you, okay, got it. Would a goal of yours ever to be acting in a horror movie?
I would love to get killed in a horror movie. That would be my all-time. That would make me so happy if I could have like a really gruesome, like practical effects.
I was just gonna.
Head cut off. I would love to walk into a movie set and see like a plastic version or like plaster, however they do it, of my face, but it's been like decapitated. And maybe an eyeball is hanging out, something like that.
Why the eyes?
I love really gruesome horror too.
Okay,
I'm a huge
you
fan
love
of
really-
gore.
okay, you
I love
love
practical effects, especially. I love
Got it.
where other people get grossed out. I'm just like, cool. How did they do that? You know?
Oh yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. Okay, so preferred method of death in a horror movie: decapitation.
Decap would be good. Maybe more like disemboweled, a lot of stuff hanging out of my chest or like stomach.
Okay,
You know, intestines coming out.
casual.
Maybe set on fire. I don't know.
That's literally how every hot girl feels with IBS. It's
Yeah,
inside set on fire, just out.
that makes sense.
Yeah, I noticed you call it decap.
Yeah.
You're
Cash.
familiar with it.
Decap would be
Casual.
cool. Yeah, a little disembowel, whatever.
Yeah. I
Some
get it.
evisceration.
I actually had an experience like Nightmare on Elm Street, a little different, but it
Mm-hmm.
did mess me up. I think I was the youngest cousin, the youngest sibling. So obviously I was the one that was just like, nah, you got to come. I was the one that was always scared, basically.
Okay.
And my cousin, who was 2 years older, dragged me to a movie on a double date.
Okay.
We met these guys at Roller Gardens.
Hey.
Little Casey and JoJo probably playing, maybe a little slow dance. I think the first one was either Signs. Yeah, It was. I got dragged to Signs. I was way too young.
Yeah.
I was already scared of aliens.
Signs is a creepy one.
Is it?
Yeah, Signs has some good scares.
In my head now, like I can't
little
even
underrated.
imagine watching it. It was great, but it was the scariest thing ever for me. And then I genuinely slept with my mom, I'm going to say, for like, I don't know how many days. And we had just moved. She didn't have like curtains yet on her window in the bedroom. And the moon, like it would just be showing outside. And I couldn't sleep. I was like staring out the window, like, crying.
Yeah. Signs is a good call. Another example of how effective horror can be with not a lot of money is like in Signs, how scary is that one scene where just like a gray figure walks by the screen and it's just a dude in a gray jumpsuit or whatever.
Yeah,
but
all my arm hairs just stood up.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since then.
It's effective.
Yeah. I also remember from that movie, because I was so young, I feel like I've blocked out of my head. I was so scared at the time. I remember like Fingers Under the Door or something.
Fingers Under the Door was creepy, yeah. It's a Mel Gibson vehicle, young Joaquin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait, is it Joaquin?
I don't remember who. I remember Mel Gibson.
Pretty sure it's Joaquin Phoenix. Young Joaquin.
Okay, we will fact check that.
Yeah.
But I remember that. And then what else was it scared me? There are a few things. It was too much. And she also, same cousin, forced me to watch like The Ring and then Ring, like the version.
We got to be around the
Way
same
too
age,
young.
I think. A lot of these.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay. Fuck, I'm older.
Yeah.
Gross. I'm 35.
Older?
I'm 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're 1990.
Yeah, 1990.
Yeah. We grew up on the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so interesting. Love to hear it. Wait, do you have an all-time favorite horror movie?
All-time favorite, I think, is still the original Halloween, 1978.
Pardon?
The original Halloween, the 1978.
Got it. And we had a fact checked. It was Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay, nice.
High five.
Oh, that one was no good. Okay, we're getting worse as we go. We got like arms in the way and stuff.
Other arms. It's too many arms.
Yeah, there's obstacles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the slasher franchise or like slasher genre in general.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of also Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Scream, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But
oh God,
yeah, Halloween. I think Michael Myers was the first villain that like really scared the crap out of me as a kid. I think after Freddy. And the original Halloween just makes me happy. It's a little like slow now if you watch it, but I saw it young enough that it was still so scary.
Okay.
And I think for me that is tops. That's definitely my favorite franchise is the Halloween franchise.
That's good. I think. Do you still rewatch it?
All the time.
Okay, that's good.
No, not all the time. I don't know. I watch a Halloween movie probably once or twice a month.
Okay. Wow. Halloween year round.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like on in the background while I'm doing dishes and stuff like that.
It's your comfort watch.
Yeah, like how other people will put on music. I'll put on like
they'll put on like Friends or The Office. You're putting on
Yeah.
Closest thing to that I would put on as comfort is Halloween Town, Family Channel.
Yeah. Whereas
in the 1990s.
I'm just puttering around the house doing my chores while people are brutally murdered in the background. That's my vibe.
Good. Yeah, calm.
Yeah.
Calming. I could see that.
For some reason, for me, it is. Yeah. I think just because I watched so much of it growing up, it's the nostalgia factor.
I get it.
It feels like a safety blanket for me somehow.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. No. Yeah. Last of the first fast five questions. Gosh,
fast five. We really
we
made it
quick.
through so quick.
Last thing you've pretended to understand but didn't.
Pretended to understand but didn't.
Could be like
That's a tough one.
Somebody bring up a certain word. Could be like anything, or even just pretending to. Let's change it. you don't strike me as this kind of person. But I think we've all at some point sort of like pretended to like something we didn't. Maybe that's like, we'll do that for somebody if they're.
Yeah. Pretended to like something.
It could literally be like, yeah, I love oat milk or I love dairy milk. I don't know. Like or if we go back.
I think I do that in restaurants a lot with the food. Yeah. I often I've worked in kitchens and stuff. I'm a decent cook. I'm not great, but definitely I'm like a total bitch about if I don't like the food at a restaurant. I'm like, no, it's so good.
100%.
You know, I'll never like complain or send anything back. That's a decent thing
to do. Like I decided to come here. I ordered this. I'm gonna just
Certainly, you never want to be rude or like a dick, but
No.
also I think sometimes it doesn't hurt to let a place know like, hey, this is like, you might want to talk to your chef. This is not great, you know?
Yeah.
Like not that long ago, actually, I had breakfast at a place and the like bacon was burnt and the toast somehow was like the worst toast I had ever had.
How dare they?
It kind of tasted like garlic. I think they had previously toasted it the night before. As my theory is that it was like going to be garlic bread on the side of like lasagna or something, and that they didn't go through it, and then they reused it for breakfast the next day. I will say, I just was like, everything was great, 20% tip, even though it was actually the worst breakfast I've had in a restaurant.
Well, look, here's the thing. We don't knock garlic bread. We love garlic bread. But if you're not expecting garlic bread and you're expecting breakfast, maybe a little jam on my toast, maybe a little something, and there's garlic in there, fuck that.
Yeah.
Or are you a vampire and the garlic is... That's why you like horror movies so much?
The real issue, I think, is not so much the garlic as the day-oldness of the bread.
Yeah.
It tasted like it had been toasted yesterday and then served. It was so dry. It was just like a big crouton.
Haven't they heard of butter? Maybe it was supposed to be broken up into croutons for a salad, a Caesar salad.
Maybe. What I'm saying is I don't think its original intention was to be on a breakfast plate, and it was.
I hear you. Do you want to out this restaurant, or are we keeping it quiet and classy?
We'll keep it quiet and classy. I think they're hanging on by a thread. I don't want to be the kill shot.
Just out of curiosity, I don't know why I'm going in. What was their bathroom like?
You know what? I didn't use it, but I think I've been there before. It's funny. It's a place that's gone downhill over time.
Okay.
The bathroom facility is always fine. I don't want to totally sink this place, but whatever new chef they have is not doing it in there.
Oh no. Okay. Understood. So you were going for breakfast. Was this solo? I
was with my mom and dad. I was doing a show in London, Ontario, and
I was just there. What show?
I was at the Yuck Yucks.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, great. And they live like about an hour from London, so often when I'm there, they'll come visit, watch the show, whatever.
Cute.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, were you there with somebody? Are you dating at all? Are you single? Because I don't know much about you.
I'm a single man, I suppose. Yeah.
Okay. He, him.
Yeah. Single man, he, him, trying to date sober, which is tough. I'm learning.
I can see that. How long have you been sober?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah,
okay,
a little over 3 years. I didn't date a lot last year because I just had a lot of the stuff on the go professionally and there wasn't time. So I'm kind of dipping back in now. It's difficult.
Are you like doing any, like, is it meet cutes in person? Is it apps? Is it
I'm off the apps. I got to get updated photos with my new hair.
Your hair looks incredible.
Thank you.
New hair. So you got your hair done.
I got my hair done. I went to Turkey. I got hair. They do that.
Give it up for Turkey.
They do that, no problem.
Gorgeous.
Istanbul.
It does look incredible.
Thank you.
Truly, it's lush.
It didn't right away, but
Can I touch it?
Yes, go ahead.
Is it safe to touch? Yeah, no, that's lush.
Right, that's hair.
Yeah.
There we go.
Go off Turkey.
Yeah. They really do an awesome job over there.
Yeah.
And it's like, so I'm lucky. I got my hair for free because
for influencing?
because I have like a decent Instagram following.
Influencer.
Yeah.
As well. That's great.
I loathe the term influencer, but
okay, I'm so sorry. He's not an influencer.
It's okay, but you know, whatever. I make funny videos online, and I'm not trying to like tell people what they should buy all the time and shit. But because I've got a decent following, this company, I was able to leverage that, and they gave me hair. And
That's
they did an
amazing.
awesome job, obviously. Like,
Truly.
I don't even really have to hype it up that much. You can just like see,
Yeah,
you know.
it looks great.
Yeah, I'm stoked
Yeah.
about it. And it's like, if you go to Turkey to get your hair done, it's like half the price of what it is here.
Right, and you had a good experience.
Including your like flight and your hotel and the you know, all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I would go
Good.
back. Istanbul's a fucking crazy city.
See, I have the... Oh, I actually do really want to go because like West versus East in Istanbul too. I've heard is so interesting, like the difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
I have the opposite issue.
Too much hair?
Yeah, like the vigor with which it grows on my head is like triple fold everywhere else. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So
You have good hair.
Thank you.
This is like you're like a L'Oreal commercial over there.
I don't know about that. It's a little dry
looks
today
good.
and a little crazy. It was a chaotic commute here, guys.
Yeah.
But no, truly, and that's like my podcast title, Gorilla Cheeks. I didn't know what the name of the podcast. Everything's taken. But genuinely, it started like I went to get laser hair removal.
Okay.
And the tech that was doing it was like, oh my God, your butt cheeks are like gorilla cheeks. Like there's so much hair.
Wow.
That she genuinely said this to me. It was hilarious. I like laughed really, really hard, but also I'm like, hurtful? What's going on back there? I'm like, if I can't see it, it doesn't exist. And then I ended up using that and stand up a little bit. And then I was like, okay, punchline, now it's a podcast. We'll just kind of do that. But
you think like day one of training for a laser hair removal tech would be like, don't say gorilla cheeks.
Well, the thing is, I was in university.
Absolutely don't say gorilla cheeks to anyone while you're here.
Another rule, don't clap gorilla cheeks. We're going to also that.
Absolutely
But no, truly. But she was like a friend. She owns the place. And I was working there when I was in university.
Yeah.
And so there was some, back and forth. She's pretty funny. Nobody.
So she's familiar with you.
Yeah.
A random off the street isn't getting called gorilla cheeks.
Like, thankfully it wasn't. Imagine like a guy said that to me.
Brutal.
Thank God not.
No.
They know better. But anyway, that's gorilla cheeks. So I have kind of the opposite problem, I guess.
Yeah.
Not on my arms though. Never do my arms.
No.
They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really just my butt cheeks, my legs, like everything else. It's fine.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're taking care of it piece by piece down there.
Yeah.
Right
I'm
on.
taking care of it. Yeah.
Not that it's a big deal anyway, but.
No. It's whatever you prefer.
Yeah, whatever you prefer, whatever makes you happy, I
Preference. Yeah, you are a very nice guy.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah. Do you get all like the mean out in the horror movie thing, like when you're watching?
Get the what?
The mean out?
The mean out? I don't know. No, I get that out in the gym, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also feel you. I'm ex-bodybuilder.
Wow,
At
cool.
one point.
You look fit.
Yeah. Not anymore. Oh my God. But I did fitness modeling for a long time as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think ex-athletes sometimes find like an avenue for that in some way afterwards. It's like a kind of an outlet. Do you find in stand-up comedy that like, I mean, for me as an ex-athlete, figure skating is very like, I was a single skater, so it was all on me. The pressure was always on me. So it was the highest of highs when it goes well and the lowest of lows when it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Do you find any kind of like similar feeling with that with stand-up comedy with when you were an athlete when you were younger?
Yeah. Well, I think when I say that I was an athlete, I'm being much more hyperbolic than you. Like you sound like you were an athlete. I wasn't operating at that high of a level, but I can see the similarity, like especially for you as a figure skater, and I guess for me because I was a sprinter.
That's what I was thinking.
It is solo. Yeah, it's like it's all on you, whether it goes well or it goes badly, and that's stand-up comedy in a nutshell for sure. I think that's why I kind of moved from sketch and improv to stand-up. Is that I kind of like when it's all on you for some reason. I don't know why. Working as a team is also a good thing and sometimes very fun.
Of course.
In its own way. But there is a gratification that's hard to replicate that comes from like, oh, I just went up there and I did that all by myself.
Of course. There's also, I find, a pressure that's similar to sprinting, let's say, or as an ex-figure skater, that there's a type of pressure when it's all on you that is replicated in stand-up comedy that is, like you said, very gratifying.
Totally. It's all on you.
Yeah.
The review is instant, especially as someone like me, I'm an addict. We're creatures that seek instant gratification.
Got
you
it.
know, so you got to try to get that from healthy places, ideally,
Of course.
if you can. And there's like nothing more instantly gratifying than like saying something and then like 100 people just laugh and are enjoying themselves because of what you said. That's like
there's nothing better
than cocaine.
There's nothing better.
Barely, but it is.
I can't speak to that. But so 3 years sober. That's incredible. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
So what did you have, and if you're not comfortable answering, totally fine. Did you have a moment where you were like, what was the moment that you were like, this has to end?
Oh, I had a million of them. I knew that I had a problem for a long time, but I was intervened upon. I was cornered.
Okay.
And there was an intervention, like there, just like on TV. I'm really grateful for that experience, even though it's horrible. It sucks having an intervention.
I can imagine.
Oh,
Pit-inducing.
Brutal.
I hate a pit.
Everybody writes down a whole list of everything that's wrong with you and reads it to your face.
Oh no!
It's just all these all this documented information about what a unwell and shitty person you are, and you just have to sit there and listen to it.
Do you feel like you were a shitty person? The unwell part, I understand.
Shitty behavior, certainly. Like especially, I was abusing cocaine. Someone said to me once, "Cocaine makes you the worst version of yourself," and I definitely believe that. So if you continue to do it for a long time and frequently, it does like just erode you and you become like something that you don't totally recognize anymore.
Okay, I can see that.
I had some behavioral issues and stuff. I was always like DMing women at like 3 o'clock in the morning and shit like that, kind of creepy stuff.
What kind of things? Like, do you want to play Uno?
Yeah, just, well, actually, you know what? Yeah, I normally was just looking for someone to like talk to. Obviously, like I was hoping to like flirt or whatever, but I wasn't like just like, here's a photo of my dick or anything like that.
Thank God.
I will say one of the worst things about Facebook Messenger is that it tells you that people are online, even if they are just like asleep. So I would be like just sifting through my contacts on Facebook going like, okay, who else is a crazy cokehead like me?
At least you're resourceful.
Yeah. And it would say like, oh, so-and-so's online. And I'd be like, oh, interesting. Maybe they have a cocaine problem. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning.
On Facebook.
And I'm like, hey, how's it going? And then they don't respond. And I'm like, oh, okay.
They're playing Farmville. They're busy.
Well, they're asleep. They're asleep. And for some reason, Facebook is saying they're online. Yeah. And then they wake up a few hours later to my like strung out message. And
and then you wake up and you're like, no. Like,
totally. I used to have to get drunk to get the courage to look at my phone. Because I would wake up, I would sleep until like, 3 in the afternoon. Yeah. And then I wake up and I was typically like blackout when I was doing this stuff. So I'd wake up and I could remember that I was on my phone, but I couldn't remember who I messaged or what I messaged. And I'd have all that anxiety. So I'd have to I'd have to go across the street and have like 3 drinks just to be like, okay, I feel like comfortable enough that I can like check my phone and see who I contacted and then just start firing off apologies and stuff like that before I made exactly the same mistake 10 hours from then.
You also could have saved money for the other substances you're using if you just had the drinks at home.
Yeah, for sure. But sometimes, you got to get away from your shame.
Yeah.
Get out in the world and talk to some other people. Yeah, big time. I got to a point where I was so like, I've got to stop messaging women that I know in the middle of the night. So I just started like, I would message like Ukrainian hair models on Instagram, people from like
you were prepping for Turkey.
Well, I found I would find people on the other side of the world that were awake because the time zones were different.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
again, resourceful. Like I'm hearing a lot of logic here.
There were people with like OnlyFans pages and stuff. So I was like, okay, I feel like it's like okay if I hit them up because they could potentially financially benefit from this.
Got it.
But yeah, man, I was a mess.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah.
Were you in Toronto at this time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And got it. Were you doing like comedy already or?
For sure. Yeah. Full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I was really managing to juggle a lot while being like pretty much blackout drunk for.
Which just speaks
6 hours a day.
Again, resourceful. Logical, hardworking.
Yeah, I was, I guess, what people call like a functioning addict.
Sure.
But the term functioning addict is also like, it's always like temporary. Like, I feel like everybody has like a pretty good prime of drinking and drugs where you really are like kind of juggling everything and you're fucked up all the time but you're sort of all you're making it all work. But your body can't sustain that. Like it does break you down over time and the brain damage gets worse and worse.
Sure.
And, eventually you are just like a shell of yourself.
Right.
But it happens so gradually that it's hard to notice.
To gauge, like, exactly, like where the starting point was and where because you just...
Yeah, you're like, changing just micro amounts per day. So day to day, you're like, I'm the same guy that I've always been. But the change is slow. And then after a couple of years, you're like, oh, I think I'm like a totally different person now.
Did comedy for you get better or worse during this time?
I think, weirdly, I was still always pretty good on stage. Sometimes I would be a little too drunk, but it was always like a late show. So that was kind of the fun of it.
Sure, yeah.
And usually the audience was drunk. It was probably kind of enabling,
second late show is for me too.
Yeah. So comedy was actually going not bad. But I think I was missing out on some opportunities just because people were like, he still does well on the stage, but he looks like a mess. Like I looked like I was dying and I was. So it's like hard to put that on TV.
Fair enough.
Or I was like going out for commercial auditions and stuff. It's like, you don't want that to be the face of your product.
Sweaty.
It's like bloated, coked out,
nose
pigmentless.
bleeding.
Yeah.
Could work in some scenes. I could see it.
For sure. Corpse on Law and Order SVU, something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Then you could live out your dream of like being a dead body on a horror movie.
That's true.
Or a show.
Oh no, I might look too good to be a corpse.
Let's not talk about it. No. Yeah, you have
Time
too
to
much.
relapse.
You have too much joy and health in your cheeks now. It's too much.
Damn, I might be too hot to be a corpse.
That's it. Too healthy.
I'm sure they could figure it out.
Has anybody ever told you kind of look like Carl Urban? Carl Urban?
I've gotten Carl Urban a couple times.
Carl with a K. You have? Yeah.
The ones that I get are Carl Urban, Seth MacFarlane.
Okay. Whoa.
And
maybe actually, yeah.
And the guy from the show You.
Okay.
Is the one I think I get the most.
You speak like him. That's what it is.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Which is probably, I guess, the least flattering one because he's like a horrible...
Yeah, Penn Badgley, yeah.
Yeah. He's like a horrible person in the show, I think.
Well, yeah.
People are like, you remind me of that really creepy guy.
Okay, but is it personalities or is it just the way you speak? I think.
I don't know. I'll hopefully, yeah.
You might like the show. I mean, it's not horror, but it's like a thriller.
I've seen a couple episodes like back in the day. Oh, it's okay. I've seen a couple episodes back in the day, yeah. And I remember thinking that it was like tense and engaging. Yeah. But yeah, it's just not exactly who you want people to be like, oh, you like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love that. That would bother me too.
Yeah. I'll take Carl Urban. That's nice. Thank you.
Carl Urban moment.
People like Carl Urban. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I see it for you. Okay, so we touched on dating. You're like kind of dabbling, dipping a toe back in that.
Yeah. I am finding it difficult. I've been working on like some bits about it right now and stuff, but like I think they come from a place of truth. It's just like it's harder to hit on people when you're sober, without the lubricant of alcohol.
100%.
I was saying to people like what's the most common opening move for a guy, right? Is like, hey, can I buy you a drink?
Yeah, of course.
Ideally you want to also be drinking if you're making that pitch.
Of
right?
course.
It's weird as a sober guy to be like, hello, madam, I would like to increase your level of intoxication.
Yeah, actually, that doesn't look good. Now, if you put it that way.
Me over here, I'm drinking Diet Coke. I am alert.
Listen, I've been on dates with, I spend a lot of time in Los Angeles, as you know, and there is, I feel like, more sober people there.
Yeah.
Whether it's like health related or something else. I have been on dates with men that are sober, and for the first couple of times I never knew how to act, or like, do I order a glass of wine? Do I not?
Yeah.
I think that I've never thought of it that way. Now that you put it that way, it's all I can think about.
Yeah.
But I think that like the comfortable thing to do is be like, I don't let them know whether you're comfortable if they drink or not. And maybe they ask that. I don't know.
Yeah, like if it's an organized, like I was talking about just sort of like randomly approaching a woman.
Yeah.
But
I'm not really going to many bars and clubs where that would happen.
Yeah.
I'd be more like,
if it's like an organized date, I find that normally I'll like let a woman know like, I don't care if you drink. Like in my mind, I'm like, yo, it's your night out too, right? Like this is your free time. and I want you to do with it what you would normally do and enjoy yourself.
Sure.
You know, if a woman took that information in and then got hammered, I'd be like, okay, that's weird.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
Like typically when I'm on a date with a woman, if they have drinks, they'll have like one or two.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know?
Okay, got it.
It would be strange if I was like, yeah, have a drink if you want. A woman had like 8 drinks. I'd be like, okay, we're in totally different places in our life. I can't.
Completely. And like,
Yeah.
why? Is that okay? Wait, let's act this out. We're on a date. This
Yeah.
is a candle. I don't know.
Okay.
And we have our water.
Uh-huh.
And the waiter goes, would you guys like anything else to drink? What is your go-to order for a drink?
I do non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
I like the little toy beers. I think that's fun.
20 years. Do you have like a favorite non-alcoholic for the people listening that are?
Yeah, so I still love to drink like an alcoholic. So I enjoy Partake because it's like usually 10 calories per can.
Okay.
I think the highest is like 25, but most non-alcoholic beers is like 80 to 100 calories.
Okay, got it.
So if that's not getting you drunk, drinking a bunch of them feels pretty silly, right?
Yeah.
But I do.
You like the taste?
I like the taste of beer. I drank so many thousands of them over the years that I really I like it a lot.
Got it.
And I like to drink a lot of beverages. Like
I'm a liquid person too.
I'm still into that. When I first got out of rehab, I went to rehab after my intervention.
Okay.
When I first got out of rehab, I was having like stomach problems for a little bit.
Okay.
And I sort of couldn't figure out why. And someone was like, how many soda waters are you drinking? And I was like, I don't know, like 10 or 12 cans a day. And they were like, yeah, you can't do that. Like you can't have that much soda water. You're
I actually like it.
You're ruining your stomach.
Lining,
you're messing
yeah.
up your tooth enamel.
The
and stuff.
epithelial
And
cells
I'm like,
of your stomach lining.
I'm just like, God damn it! What can I drink 12 of in a day? That's really what I want.
Glasses of water.
I just want to be
Short
constantly
glasses of water.
drinking something.
I get it. My friends make fun of me. I'll be at like an event or like a dinner or something, and I have like 4 different beverages. And I don't know if that comes from like the fitness world or like when I started doing bodybuilding, it like water is such like an important part of like the journey for prep of things, drinking an insane amount. So then I just got comfortable with drinking 3 liters of water a day minimum. And then I like liquid. It also fills you up. But okay, so obviously you're fit.
Mm-hmm.
Did the fitness journey start before the intervention? Like I know you were obviously an athlete. That stopped. I'm assuming. And then
I did a little bit of like, I struggled with addiction for years before I got sober. So I would go through phases where I was trying to get in shape again. And during the pandemic, I got into running.
Okay. Same. That's
a bit.
Same.
Yeah. There was another comedian that's a friend of mine who was starting like a little running group. And I would go and I would do that. And yeah, you know, you work your way up, start just doing like 5Ks. And then we started doing some longer runs. Like I ran a marathon when I was still a cokehead.
Okay.
Which was
extreme. A different kind of horror movie.
Looking back, I'm like, I can't believe I didn't have a heart attack.
That's insane.
Yeah, that was insane.
Does coke dehydrate you?
Big time.
Okay.
Yeah. And like messes with your sleep and like so many things.
Yeah.
Obviously heart, like by the end I was having like heart pain and stuff like that.
Okay.
I like really thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
But yeah, since sobriety, fitness has been a huge part of like my recovery.
Big hit, big dopamine hit.
Yeah, for sure. I do like crazy distance runs and stuff now. And I'm basically in the gym pretty much every day. Right now I'm on like 5 days of weights and then 2 days of cardio.
I feel you. I've been there. Do you feel like you've replaced maybe one addiction with another with fitness or a healthy one?
Yeah, maybe a little. People do ask that a lot. And I'm like, I guess, I don't know if I would say replace one addiction with another. Like I never wake up and I'm like, I gotta get to the gym.
Sure.
I'm gonna start shaking if I don't go to the gym. You know, like it's still the gym to me. Like addiction is like a lack of discipline, and the gym is like extreme discipline. Like every day I have to like force myself to go there. Still, you know, I would rather stay home and play video games and sit on the couch, you know, but every day I gotta, you know, still hype myself up and be like, okay, no, we're gonna go to the gym and we're gonna get the work done, and then you'll enjoy your video games and shit more after
games
you've
are you playing?
Right now,
real quick.
Right now I'm in the new Resident Evil.
Okay.
It's super fun.
You know what I played during the pandemic? I went back and played Resident Evil 2. Was it Resident Evil 2? It was good.
Yeah, was it
randomly? I don't know how I fell down that rabbit hole. Like I did like BioShock Infinite again, and then I went.
Ooh, okay, you game a bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, I like that.
Just really quickly, Gorilla Cheeks, right? An embarrassing moment, made something kind of good out of it.
Yes.
It was a little ego checking for me too. Have you ever had like a moment where your ego was sort of like checked in a way that we were like, oh, but then maybe a positive came out of it? Is there anything?
Ego checked. I mean, that happens in comedy constantly.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
You bomb or whatever.
Yeah.
That can happen, or it does happen. Thankfully, like less now that I've been doing it for a long time. But in the early days, God, your ego gets checked all the time.
And you don't even realize it sometimes at the beginning. I feel like what's really happening. Okay. Lastly, before we wrap up, Andrew Barr, you have a special coming out that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Arguably the most unique stand-up special of all time.
I would argue that as well, actually.
And that no one in the history of the world has ever done the specific thing that I did.
Please quickly explain the special and talk about when it's coming out or expected to come out.
I recorded a stand-up comedy special a few months ago where I put a treadmill on stage in the comedy club and I ran for 12 hours on the treadmill. And then recorded the comedy special right after running for 12 hours.
Insane.
So the whole day was kind of like a metaphor for addiction. I wanted to raise, it was also a fundraiser. I was raising some money for the rehab center that I went to.
Incredible.
So the metaphor was kind of like the treadmill is addiction, right? You're stuck in one place. You can't move forward. Maybe, at first you're having a bit of fun, but slowly this thing is like breaking you down over time. And at a certain point, you have to admit to yourself, like, I can't beat this machine. I just have to stop. I have to get off of it. And then the audience arriving for the show is kind of like my intervention. Me getting off the treadmill and going to perform for them is like a return to community. Okay. So that was the little story that I was trying to tell with it. We did a fun live stream the whole day while I was on the treadmill where I had two comedians sitting on a couch next to the treadmill. And we'd do like 2 comedians per hour and they would podcast and stuff.
Incredible.
And that's how we like raised the money. We raised like $10,000 or something for the rehab that I went to.
High five.
And then
that was a good one.
And then right after running 104 kilometers, which my goal was 100K in the 12 hours. I ran 104 kilometers. And then I brought out an opening act to do 10 minutes. I got changed and then I did an hour and 10 minutes of stand-up comedy immediately after running 104K.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Could never.
Yeah. It was sort of meant to be a little science experiment too. You know how sometimes you perform, say you're sick, you're coughing, you don't feel very well. You go on stage.
You just want to see what kind of comes out of you.
Well, you don't feel sick anymore. Like it goes away, right?
Sure.
The energy from the crowd like sort of fills you up. You get that adrenaline from other people and all of a sudden you're not sick. I kind of wanted to like find the edge of that.
I feel that.
I was like, to what extent can an audience like revive a dude?
That's incredible.
Can a group full of people with good energy make a dude like forget that he just ran 104 kilometers?
Was the hypothesis met? It was met.
Pretty much. I mean, I was fighting for my life out there, but I did pull it off. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it went really well.
Congratulations. Okay, so Andrew Barr, obviously. And where and when are they going to be able to see that special?
So it's going to come out sometime in the next couple months. We're editing it right now. If you want to check out the trailer, I just dropped that on my Instagram, which is Andrew Barr Comedy. But yeah, keep an eye out for it. I'll be posting about it all over my social media, which is Andrew Barr Comedy on everything, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And it's going to be coming out on Comedy Bar Max's YouTube page is the channel that it'll be released on.
Incredible. That's perfect. Thank you so much for coming, guys. This has been Gorilla Cheeks. Thank you for hanging and hope you have a great day.
Thanks for having me.